Welcome to the Redirect Podcast. I'm Abigail Freshley.
And I'm Emily Rojas. The Redirect Podcast is a show where we shift the conversation back to books. We discuss themes from some of our favorite books and how those themes show up in our real lived experiences.
On today's episode, we are doing a reading rewind and we are revisiting the much-beloved Chronicles of Narnia, specifically The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
But first, before we get to that, if you love the pod, and we know you do, wrap up this year by supporting us in a few simple ways. First, you can go to Apple Podcasts and smash 5 stars and let us know, leave a comment, let us know how much you love the show.
You can also follow us on Instagram and for the next few weeks, TikTok at Redirect Podcast. And if you really, really love the show, you can share it with a friend. Sharing our show with a friend is the best way to help us grow our community of book-loving nerds. And we have some fun, exciting ways to engage with our online community of book friends next year, including maybe doing some buddy reads on Storygraph for some exciting releases coming out. So definitely want to plug in with us. And it's just good, fun vibes.
It's a lot of fun vibes, so go follow us while you still can, as Abigail said. Okay, let's go. I'm ready to talk about this. I'm so excited.
Okay.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
So the idea here is we were like, okay, let's do another episode, but what should we do?
Yeah.
And then we batted around a few ideas, and then we were like, wait, Narnia is kind of Christmassy because there's like a Santa moment.
Father Christmas
moment.
Yes, and it's eternal winter, you know.
And we both have an interesting history with this book series. So, yeah, it just kind of felt natural for us to talk about.
Yeah, I think it's
We've
the
talked
perfect
about
time.
The Chronicles of Narnia a few times in a few different episodes on this podcast.
But not a devoted episode, so it's exciting to get into it. It's definitely a part of the fabric of my life, maybe more than I realized, which we can talk about more when we unpack.
So let's start there. So tell me about your experience, like, with this book in your youth.
Okay, so similar to, I'm sure you, my first exposure to the Chronicles of Narnia was singing in the choir of this production, which they did 2 years in a row, if I remember correctly, at our church. Do you not remember that? It was they did this twice for sure.
I believe you,
because there was 2 different casts. I think some of the adult parts were the same, but yeah, so they did this twice, but we were really little. So I was like probably in kindergarten, and I just remember there was a Turkish Delight song. I still remember all the songs. But that was like my first experience. And then of course, as I got older, I think I read the books. But yeah, the first exposure to this series was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Musical adaptation, ambiguously, like, where did they get the rights from? I don't really know. Where did the music come from? Unclear.
Unclear.
But I do remember loving it.
It was bangers.
Oh,
Turkish Delight.
Yeah. As I was thinking of this production, I'm like, I think actually this is where my love for like musicals and theater came from, was being in the kids choir of the show, because I just remember like the costumes were so good, and I just remember being like, I want to be those freaking beavers one day, or like, you know, Lucy or something. I don't remember who anything else about it, but
well, friend of the pod, Emma, her older sister Grace was Mrs. Beaver.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah.
I also remember about that, like at the cast party, they gave the kids Turkish Delight as a, like, okay, fun. Now everyone gets to finally try Turkish Delight. And we were all like, this is ass. This isn't good.
Yeah, I remember it being like, oh, okay. Anyways. So I was just Googling Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe musical. And I'm sure there is like a okay, here we go. For His Glory. That's what I'm talking about. There's probably like a school one, I'm sure, that people like schools put it on, but this one was heavy. Like, obviously this is a religious allegory, which we can talk more about, obviously, but this was like heavy on the church. Like anyways, I'm sure it's not how it was, you know, the school version would not be appropriate.
So then that was your first exposure, and so then did you read the books?
Yes, I read the books. I think most of them in like elementary school, or I don't know, whenever they would have been, probably elementary school. But now I have all of them. This is my copy. I have all of them bound in one version that I bought probably in high school, and I have reread this many times. So it's definitely something I've revisited before now. So it's not as jarring as some of the other ones that I have not revisited since I was like 6. But yeah, I don't know if I read all of them as a kid, but I definitely remember reading like The Magician's Nephew. I remember reading the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I don't know about some of the other ones, but I do remember those specifically as a young kid reading them. Yeah. What about you? What's your experience?
Yeah, same introduction, but also my older brother was a big reader, and he's 11 years older than me, for those who don't already know that. And he was like a big fantasy reader. He loved Lord of the Rings. He loved Chronicles of Narnia. And so he was also a big introduction to that for me. So he gave me all of his books, and I didn't read them all. I read Magicians when I was a kid, like maybe late elementary, early middle. I read Magician's Nephew, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and then Prince Caspian. I know for a fact I did not read The Horse and His Boy, because I'm reading that right now. And it is definitely not as good as some of the other ones, in my opinion.
It's kind of like, there's like in Little House on the Prairie, there's like that one book that's like the boy's perspective, and it's like a outtake. Like it feels like from another world. That's how I feel about The Horse and His Boy. You're like, okay, what is even going on here?
Yeah. It's really interesting. So anyways, that was my introduction to it. And then obviously the movie that came out was big, but really just being like, because obviously we grew up very religious. And so it was just like, this is the book to read.
Yeah.
Like, are you even a Christian if you haven't read this book?
Yeah.
And also just like how hard C.S. Lewis went on being like extremely like take for take literal. like literally like, if you don't get this is Jesus, I'm gonna freak out. Kind of thing, like really, really closing the window for interpretation on like what this could be. So that's really interesting. I feel like it's the most literal of all of the like Christian adjacent books out there. And
I feel like transitioning to like what it was like revisiting this, I think unfortunately I really like C.S. Lewis. I have several of his other books that are not for little kids. I like his writing, but it's like if he hadn't been so literal, I feel like how the whole series ends, which we can talk again more about with Susan being left behind and the final whatever. It's like he feels like he wrote himself into a corner is what I'm trying to say, of like being so literal in this book, then kind of closes down how much he could have expanded the world, because this was the first book he wrote in this series, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and it feels like he could have made a little less like beat for beat, like you said, and there might be more room to just experience Narnia and not be like, what does this mean about God?
Like everything has to be like an object lesson kind of thing.
Right.
I mean, yeah. So maybe this is a good time to maybe inject a little like C.S. Lewis biography.
Yes.
And we can talk about his influence, like what influenced him to write this book.
Yes.
But so C.S. Lewis lived from 1898 to 1963. He died a few days after JFK was shot. Did you know that?
Whoa.
Yeah,
it was too much for him.
It was too much. Probably not, because he was an American. He was born in Northern Ireland, and his writing career really took off in the 1940s during his literature professorship at Cambridge. This was driven home to me many times during our college career, because there was like do you remember the Cambridge Study Abroad group?
Do I remember?
Every year.
Talk about elitist.
Okay, so at our college, you had to have a cross-cultural experience to graduate. And so some people did like a study abroad semester. You could go on these like short-term trips with the school. And so one of them was a study abroad semester at Cambridge. And the people who got accepted to that and did that
insufferable
were insufferable. You
Well, it
would
was so
never
insane.
hear the end of that, and then they'd be like, "Oh, we're getting together for our Cambridge study abroad, like reunion." And oh my god, remember when we were in Cambridge together? And like, oh my god, remember we went to C.S. Lewis's like writing room, because that was like a whole thing. It's like they would go to his like house, and just like, okay.
The most insane part about that is that in order to make it onto the trip, it was so competitive that people would camp out for days ahead of like the sign up sheet being posted. And so there would just be like every semester there'd be a day where people were just camping out outside of this building.
Led that?
I don't know. Who did lead that? I don't know.
Was it like with the School of Religion? Was it Dr. Cross?
No, I think it was with humanities.
It was humanities, right?
Yeah,
I don't know,
because they were always outside the humanities building. Whatever. I just know everyone who went on is the most annoying person, and no disrespect to those people. You know
everyone who ever went on one.
Yeah, because you know everyone.
Shut the up about it.
Okay. Yeah, that too. Anyways, so yeah, C.S. Lewis, famous.
So anyways, yeah, so that, but he's like really interesting. Okay, so I have read some of his other books too. His like adult kind of like nonfiction ponderings on Christianity and faith. And like I think for the time, he was like super like a leading thinker in the 20th century about Christianity. He wrote and like also it's really interesting. It's hard to like pin him down theologically. I think
very
sometimes you're like, wow, this sounds super Calvinist. Very big on like predestination and like very like conservative theology for people who didn't grow up the way that we did. That is what that means. Like a lot more conservative.
The shiver doesn't run down your spine with the word Calvinist. And let us explain.
And then like there are other moments where it almost seems like he's a universalist, and where he is like in The Great Divorce, like he seems like a lot more optimistic about the idea that like there's universal salvation for everyone. And it's really hard to pull him down. And I think like a lot of it came more from his personal experiences, and he probably, his beliefs probably evolved over time.
Yeah. That's my impression of him. Am I remembering this right? That he also was an atheist for a long time and then
I think
like became a Christian. I don't know if that's like a folk tale or reality.
Anyways, I feel like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, for instance, gives me more conservative theology vibes.
Yeah.
To me. And like, that's what was coming out to me when I was rereading it as an adult. As a kid, well, a few observations for me at rereading it this time. And I'd be curious to hear what you think. Like, first of all, I was like, oh yeah, this is a kid's book. Yeah. When I was a kid reading this, I was like, this is such an intense book.
Yeah.
This is like so real.
Yeah.
So first of all, that was my big shock. I was like, oh yeah, this is for kids. And then I was also like, wow, this guy is really following these like ideas about sin and redemption and stuff.
Yeah.
That makes sense to some people and don't make sense to other people. So like, for instance, this idea that Edmund has like committed this like unforgivable thing, like this unatonable situation,
right?
By like kind of screwing over his brothers and sisters when he didn't even know Aslan existed. Yeah. And accepting Turkish delight from the White Witch. Yeah. Like he was a kid and he kind of just like did something stupid.
Yes. One thought about that before you continue your thought. So like I'm just rereading this, and I will say I also rewatched the movie, which I would love to talk more about, but I'm like, okay, so Lucy goes there, meets this fawn guy. He tries to kidnap her, brings her back to his house, like drugs her essentially, and then is like, oh, never mind, get out of here. That's her experience. And then Edmund comes in, and this really nice seeming lady gives him Turkish delight, hot cocoa, is like, come on back anytime. Obviously, we know she's evil, but I'm like,
but he didn't know that.
I don't know. I'm starting to lean towards Edmund's experience was better. Then Lucy comes back. She's like, no, don't worry. Tumnus is actually nice. He is this old, creepy half goat man who tried to drug and kidnap me, but he's on the good side. And this nice lady with the candy is on the bad side. You know what I mean?
I think this like it opens a bigger conversation to what you were naturally exposed to. So it just so happened that the first person that Lucy met was one of the quote unquote good guys. Yeah. And so that was her experience. And it just so happened that the first guy that Edmund met was a quote unquote bad person.
Yeah.
Well, they had no barometer to judge what is good and bad in Narnia because they'd never been there.
It's this unfamiliar world.
So as an adult, when I'm reading this, it's like, okay, so Lucy was born into a Christian family and just happened to go to church every day of her life since she was born.
Yeah.
Essentially. And therefore, she has just got really lucky, and then she will say the prayer and do the plan of salvation, and she'll go to heaven. And Edmund, wasn't. So just screw him.
Yeah.
He
does come back around. So there's that interpretation as well.
Yeah, he does come back around, but it's just what did he to me, I was as an adult, I'm looking at this with a more critical eye, and I'm like, but did he even really do anything wrong? He's a kid.
Yeah. Yeah. No. To sum it up.
It's just weirder as an adult to read.
Yeah.
I don't know, for me.
It's weird as an adult because they're all children. And you're like, actually, I don't think any of them should be involved in this. I think they should have turned back around once they heard there's a war coming. They should have left Narnia. They should have gone back through the wardrobe. There's already a war in their home. Let's go deal with that. Let's stay out of this fictional realm. We don't know who's good. We don't know who's bad. We don't know this Aslan character. I'm out. I think that's where it should have ended. Why are we giving a 14-year-old boy a sword? I don't think that's safe,
Oh, and being go fight in a war.
Yeah.
And by the way, when girls fight in wars, it's bad.
Yeah.
He literally said that. That was
that was tough.
Yeah. Also, anyways, in the later books, race gets really weird.
Yeah.
Because everyone from Narnia is described as having light skin, and all of the bad people in other kingdoms that don't believe in Aslan and the Emperor across the sea, which I want to get into that in a second.
Yes.
They all have dark skin.
Yeah. That's very tough.
It's tough. It's really tough.
I just want one thing from my childhood to not be racist.
Please, God. I'm just asking you for one thing. Could you guys have just chilled for 1 second?
I know it was the 1940s. I don't care. I don't like it. So yeah.
Literally, it is actually a literal fantasy land.
Mm-hmm.
This is a place where beavers talk, and there are half goat, half men. Anyways, that doesn't come up in Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but it does come up in The Horse and His Boy. So.
Yes.
Anyways, okay. On a positive note, there are lots of positive notes about this. It was very cozy to read.
It's a very cozy book. Very quick. In my version, audiobook, it was 80 pages.
So cozy.
Yeah.
Yours was how many pages?
80. I mean, they're longer pages than a normal children's book, obviously, but it's nice because that's one thing about rereading it. I have never, or in so long, I haven't just read one book by itself. I'll just sit down and read this whole thing from the whatever start to finish. And it was really weird. That was more jarring to me too, of this is actually super short. I'm not used to this being something I read on its own. So they're very short.
Yeah. So also this book came out in the 40s, right?
Yes.
Or early 50s. Okay.
I think 50s. Yeah.
So this maybe was at the earlier point in C.S. Lewis's journey of his theological.
Let's go with that.
Positioning. I'm I'm understanding that this is a book that's written for children. So having to it's hard to discuss big theological concepts.
Sure.
And so, making things simple. But yeah, it was just very, very, really interesting to read. And,
do you think that, so at the end of the book, if you've never read this, maybe we should do a plot if someone's never read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Why don't you explain what happens?
Sure. Okay. So it's England. It's World War II.
Yeah.
The Pevensey kids are leaving London because of the threat of bombs and stuff. So they go and live with a family friend, the professor, out in the country. And he lives in this house and they stumble upon a magical wardrobe.
Yeah.
And Lucy goes in there, the youngest girl, one day, and it leads to a magical winter wonderland world. And she comes back, tells her, she meets Mr. Tumnus. They hang out. She comes back and tells her siblings, and they're like, we don't believe you.
Yeah.
And obviously. And then Edmund goes in there, one day and he realizes it is real, and he meets the White Witch, who calls herself the Queen of Narnia. She gives him Turkish delight, and she's like, bring your siblings back, because there's this like crazy prophecy that at the palace of Narnia called Cair Paravel, there's 4 thrones, and that like Narnia will be healed when like 4 people,
Humans,
sons of daughters,
yeah.
sons of Adam and daughters of Eve, like are on the throne.
Which, by the way, Cair Paravel is an awesome name. He really slayed when he came up with that.
He snapped on that.
Anyways.
And so they're all like playing a game one day, and they like are like hiding away from this like tour that's going on in the mansion, and they go through the wardrobe, and they're all in Narnia. And they're like, Edmund, you little freak, why did you make Lucy look like an idiot? Like when you knew this was real.
You suck, and we hate you. We wish you weren't our brother.
Yeah, totally. And then Lucy's like, let's go see Mr. Tumnus. But Mr. Tumnus has been like kidnapped and arrested by the White Witch and her cronies for like not selling out Lucy when she was there. And Edmund's like, hey, like, I actually don't know what's right and what's wrong. And you guys are talking about how she's bad, but like, that's not what I know. And I know she gave me Turkish delight. Yeah. So I'm actually going to peace out and tell her that you guys are here. Yeah. Because I really want more. And like, also, the Turkish delight is magical. Yes. This is something I've missed in the past. It's like this is an allegory for sin. Sure. In the way where it's like, you have a little bit and you can't stop wanting more. Yeah.
Yes, I think that's not clear, and a lot of people's only experience with this is the movie, and they're like, is Turkish delight really that good? But in the book, he's explicitly says this is bewitched Turkish delight, and it's like once you eat it, you can't stop eating it. Like you'll always crave it for the rest of your life, which is horrible, like, by the way.
As if it was from the
like
tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Yeah, that too.
So then, like, Edmund's like off, and now the White Witch is pissed because he came back, but he didn't bring the siblings. Yeah. And the good guys, like Mr. and Mrs. Beaver and whatever, they're all trying to find Aslan because they've heard that Aslan is on the move.
Which is also
Aslan is
kind
a
of
lion who is like the true king of Narnia.
Aslan is Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Also, he's the true king of Narnia, but I guess it hasn't been very important to him to come back and save his subjects from perpetual winter with no Christmas under the rule of an authoritarian ice queen. But
that's none of my business.
That's not my business. Who knows?
Yeah,
who knows
they're
where
like
he's
Aslan.
been?
I don't know. He might be coming back though soon. So because you guys are here now. So yeah.
So now he feels compelled. But me though. Anyways. So that's another thing that I was just like,
I've always been suspicious of Aslan. Respectfully to Jesus, I don't like Aslan that much. I'm like, you just come when you want, you disappear. I don't like that, Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of, and no one asks any questions about it. Yeah. And then basically because, so Edmund has done this betrayal by using the information that was given to him, telling the White Witch that his siblings are here and that Aslan is on the move. And because of that, she feels that she's entitled to his blood because he has made a betrayal. Yes. There's like that's some deep magic. Yeah. Deep magic.
Like y'all need to work on revising the laws in your constitution if that's how things work there.
Yes. But then Aslan is like, hey, actually, so I'll do it. You can kill me instead. But then psych, I rose from the dead because actually there's an even deeper magic that I didn't tell you about because me and the emperor across the sea, right? Who I have questions about that in a second, but me and the emperor across the sea, we came up with an even deeper magic before the foundation of the earth. Right. And that if I was innocent, I gave myself in his place, then he would be forgiven and I would come back to life.
Right, and the stone table breaks in half, and death moves backwards, as he says. So
yeah, and then they have a huge war, and then the White Witch dies. Yeah,
And Edmund, like, to redeem Edmund, at the very end, he, like, fights harder than anyone and, like, directly helps kill the White Witch and is, like, committed to Narnia. So.
And he ends up being named King Edmund the Just.
I know.
So they all get crowned as kings and queens of Narnia. Peter is the High King, and everyone else is kind of just like junior.
Yeah.
And it's like High King Peter the Brave, I think.
Peter the Brave, Edmund the Just, Susan the Gentle.
And Lucy is the...
she's like jolly, happy, something like that.
Not jolly. No, it's something better than that. Queen Lucy... The Valiant.
The Valiant. That is better than Jolly. Yeah.
And then,
to circle back on our who would we vote for president, I'm back on Edmund. I just want to be clear about that. I would like King Edmund the Just. Like
he didn't make this world. He just walked into a wardrobe one day. Someone gave him magical candy. He's a kid. He made the decisions he had to make.
Yeah. And he redeemed himself.
Yeah. Do I think that means that he is like inherently sinful and like total depravity of man? No, I don't. And that's where I think me and C.S. Lewis differ on this. We come down differently on this. But yeah. And so then they kind of like grow up. They don't remember their old world. And then one day they're like riding around in the woods and they find a lamppost and they follow it and they go back into the mansion and no time has passed really. And they're now that
kids again
would piss me off.
That would, I have so many questions about that because I'm like, okay, here's number one. How do you forget where you came from? Were they never like, hey, how did we get here? We don't have parents, we're just kid kings and queens.
Deep magic.
I don't like that. Number two, when they got back to our Earth, do you think they were like, whoa, this is crazy. Here, we have this guy, Jesus. Over there was this Aslan guy. Same exact thing. Do you guys think there's any connection? Okay.
Actually, the thing that I think about is I'd be like, I went through puberty when I was there.
That was my number 3.
And now I have to come back and do that again?
Especially freaking Lucy. She's 8. She's like 8 years old. I was a queen and now I'm 8?
Yeah, I was getting marriage proposals.
Yeah.
And now I'm 8 again? And then
I need someone to write that story. I'll get into the fan
back
fiction
and be
later.
Like,
but
oh, you're putting me in timeout. I was the queen of Narnia.
Yeah,
like, are you kidding?
Queen. I'm not going to timeout. Yeah, like
I already had like an authority complex where I was really rebellious of authority as a kid. I just feel like I would have a really
insufferable
hard time with this.
I would too. I'd be like, you got to take me back. Honestly, you got to take me back. And also, doesn't that mess with your mind? Like, you have all these memories, and then they're dating later in life. They're like, oh yeah, back when I was sorry, I shouldn't have said it.
Back when I was an adult the first time.
Yeah, that would be such a trippy, like, I feel like I understand this is a kid's book, but I cannot imagine the experience. I wish it was an adult book and we could really go deep into what that would be like.
We always come down on this in our rewind episode. We're like, gosh, I saw a TikTok the other day about the movie The Holiday. And at the end when they're like at New Year's and it's like fading out and the credits are rolling, she's like, I can't watch this because what's the plan?
Yeah.
Is someone moving to England? Is someone moving to California? How are we all working this out in the future? That's how I felt ending this book. I was like,
what's up?
But yeah, but now what happens to the Pevensies?
Right.
Also, like in his tenure as High King of Narnia, Peter has like led the Narnian army to like victory over their opponents. And like, should he like be involved in World War II now?
That's how D-Day happened. Peter starts calling people up. He's like, I've got a genius plan. As former High King of Narnia, please put me in, coach.
Yeah, oh my God. But actually, I don't know how to use guns. I only know how to wield swords and like other archaic type beat weapons.
It's tough. Yeah. His dad comes back from war and he's like, man, war's a real on, Dad.
He's like, yeah.
He's got PTSD. Oh my God.
But
yeah, I have a lot of questions
go
about
of that and looking at this through a child's eyes.
Oh yeah, it's
delightful. Cool to be like, kids could, like, this is for kids too. Like this whole world and adventure and of life and like faith and salvation and courage, all is accessible to kids too. I think I just come down differently about the characterization of Aslan.
Yeah, tough
For
on
me.
Aslan. For me, I agree. Never liked that guy. Awesome. Okay, let's talk about. I want to talk about the movie adaptation. I watched it last night. I wrote down my thoughts, so I just want to go through this list really fast. But first of all, I want to say, number one, this is probably top tier, tied with Hunger Games for greatest movie adaptations.
It's good.
They took an 80-page book and made it into a 2.5-hour movie that really nails it. Like they just, I was jarred reading this book because I'm like, oh, I forgot the like extreme scene at the beginning where the bombs are dropping on England and Edmund runs back into the house. Like, you know what I'm talking about? That's not even in here. None of this is in here, but they just expanded so many great things. Anyways, great adaptation.
The battle scene?
The battle scene is one of the greatest battle scenes of all time.
Where like the good guys and the bad guys are running at each other and it's like quiet, and then you see the leopard like
yes, insane. Well done.
And then,
I don't
like,
know what happened to the rest of these movies
that are
but
like flying over and like
yes,
dropping boulders and stuff.
It's incredible.
That's lit.
It's incredible.
Chills.
I wanted to say, did no one teach Lucy Stranger Danger? Because what the she sees a guy and immediately goes home with him. I don't like that. Also, this book and movie, it's a part of my lexicon, I realized, because I say spare all the time. And this is a meme, but don't cite the deep magic to me, which, and also I say for Narnia and for Aslan all the time, which is from the battle scene. Okay. In the movie, even more than the book, I feel like Edmund is not treated fairly. They are so mean to Edmund in the movie. Like, literally, they hate him.
I would say he is more of a little brat, and then like he's mean to Lucy. That's like, okay, that's the strike I will hold against him.
Yes.
I think he's actually innocent of the rest of the charges.
Yes.
Because again, he knows nothing about Aslan when he makes this decision. I think he's innocent of that charge. I think that he's not innocent of being a bully to his little sister.
Agree. He was very mean to her, but also they were very mean to him. Also, Susan is really annoying in the movie. She's not annoying in the book, but in the movie, I hate her, and I'm glad she doesn't make it to heaven in the end. And also,
one thing I will say against Lucy, about Susan, like in The Horse and His Boy, is that she's kind of like, she knows that she's that bitch. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's like, oh, I'm like the one really pretty human girl here.
Yes.
And like, you guys have to like deal with that.
Like, I'm your only option.
Like, I am the queen of Narnia.
Yes.
So I'm Queen Susan, and like, be nice to me.
Yeah.
Or I'm calling Aslan.
Yes. Exactly. She's a Karen.
Yes.
And lastly, I said if I met Santa and he started giving me presents and telling me about war, I would leave instantly, because why is Santa giving me a freaking poison daggers, sword and arrows and healing ointment? Like, this is not it. I
would say of all the presents though, I'm gonna want the one that Lucy got.
That's the best one.
That's so cool.
It's awesome.
But yeah, like weapons and stuff,
I would be like, this is my present. Like, I asked for a PS5. So can you try again?
Can I have more Turkish delight?
You got some of that Turkish delight Edmund was talking about.
That good.
But yeah, I love this adaptation. I remember going to see it. I don't know. I was trying to remember like, why did I go to see this? But I went to see this with my 5th grade class, and we like, I think it was like a prize we had won, maybe for like good attendance, or I don't know. But we went to see it on a school trip, and I remember it was amazing, and it blew my mind. It was so good. And then the other really movies are just not good. The subsequent adaptations are not to this level. I
don't think I only watched The Voyage of the Dawn Treader like once, but
it's terrible.
I have like a visceral memory of seeing this movie in theaters, because I saw it over my Christmas break, and I had like a homework that I saw this like on the last day of my Christmas break, and I had homework that was due the next day. And I remember me with undiagnosed anxiety disorder sitting in that movie, and the whole time thinking, oh my God, I have to do this homework.
That's
later.
real.
Oh my God, I have to do this homework later. And then getting this sick feeling in my stomach, like, oh my God, it's going to be so hard to do it later. And I couldn't stop thinking about the homework.
That's real.
And that feeling comes up every time I watch this movie.
Wow.
So
are you talking about this movie? The Limelights in the Wardrobe? Then I remember the Prince Caspian movie. I remember how mad everyone was because they tried to make like this love thing happen with Susan and
Oh my God,
Caspian.
I was talking to Zach about this last night.
Yes, what did he say?
Well, we had like a mind meld because I was like, oh my God, I remember Prince Caspian. And then we got
Yes.
quiet for a second. And then we both looked at each other and in unison, we were like, it started out as a feeling.
If you know, you know. Okay, I want you to, speaking of romance, I want you to guess. I went on AO3 for this episode, and I looked at the fan fiction for the Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh, it's going to be something super fucked up.
And it's not that bad. I want to say,
It's like
number one.
Tumnus and Lucy.
No. I want to say, number one, most of the fan fiction for Chronicles of Narnia, which is probably because it's a children's book, although that doesn't stop people, it is not romantic. A lot of it is actually like about Susan and like what happened to her after. So if you don't know, in the last book, canonically, the three siblings, Peter, Edmund, and Lucy, are killed in a train crash and make their way to Narnia. And Susan is not able to come because she no longer believes in Narnia or whatever. Like, there's a lot of think pieces about that. Which is just like deeply traumatizing to imagine being the only sibling and your other siblings were killed in a train crash and you don't know they're in Narnia. You don't know that they're all right up there. They're just dead. So there's a lot of fan fiction about Susan, which I'm very interested in reading, actually. But I want you to guess by a wide margin what the number one ship is on AO3. It's more than double the next option. I don't think you'll guess it. I never would have come up with it.
The first thing I was thinking is that it was going to have to do with Tumnus because James
no
McAvoy.
Tumnus.
Can you give me one of the people in the ship and I'll tell you the other person?
Prince Caspian.
Well, I feel like Susan is like right there. Oh,
no,
Peter.
Nope.
Who?
Edmund and Prince Caspian is the number one ship.
Really?
Of all ships. Any ships of the Chronicles of Narnia fandom, it is the number one on AO3. Now, I don't know about the other mediums out there, but fascinating.
Wow.
I have a lot of questions about it, but that's that. So I was shocked. I never would have put those two together. But it kind of makes sense.
You know who I love from the Prince Caspian book is Reepicheek.
Yeah, he's the best. Yeah, he's awesome. So yeah, that's my fan fiction corner. But I'm very interested in reading all these other ones. Like, there's a lot dealing with like Susan's experience and her finding her way back to Narnia or something. And I don't know. Susan and Caspian is the second ship that I found. Second most popular. Yeah.
I don't even know if I have any more thoughts.
You wanted to talk about the Emperor Across the Sea.
Yeah. The Emperor Across the Sea has like absentee. So I am aware that in this allegory, the Emperor Across the Sea is supposed to be like God the Father.
Right.
And Aslan is supposed to be like Jesus, God the Son. I'm confused about like rounding out that Trinity, if there's like something else that's supposed to be representative of the Holy Spirit.
Maybe it's magic.
But maybe it's the deep magic.
Yeah.
But the Emperor Across the Sea kind of just like off. I don't know. Like, also the way that it goes with the other like kingdoms, like the Emperor is the Emperor of all kingdoms, but Narnia is the only one that like acknowledges the Emperor. And then it's like, okay, who's the real head of state of Narnia? Is it the Emperor Across the Sea?
Yeah.
Is it Aslan? Or is it the Pevensies?
Yeah.
What do you think? How do you think that works?
Okay, so it's like God, up there. He sends down Jesus. He's like, I am up here. You go. That's Aslan.
I'm across the sea.
Yeah. I'm across the sea. I don't have a boat. Aslan, you're a lion. So go over there. Aslan, he goes down. He's like, I'm going to sort all this out. Stone table, broken in half, kill the witch, and then I'm out.
I'm bringing the humans into
that's
the inheritance
Jesus.
of the kingdom of God.
And then now you guys got to be the pastors and you got to grow this little church of Narnia, of my kingdom. And you got to, take care of it because I'm out. I got other kingdoms to deal with. I already went to Earth 2,000 years ago. He's been hitting up every planet, you know, because back to the canon of Narnia, how Narnia is discovered is these two kids end up in this like great forest and there's pools everywhere. And every time they go down in a pool, it's like a different world and it's like infinite pools. So, C.S. Lewis, big on parallel universes. So Aslan, that's why he can't stay, because he's been dying and coming back to life in every single planet. He's got to keep going. Exhausting. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's tough. It's tough for a lion. He's a lion here. He's Jesus here. Somewhere else, he's like, I don't know. What else? A bird.
Do you think that C.S. Lewis believes do you think he believed in parallel universes for real?
No.
No. Okay. Hey, who knows though?
Who can say? What did you believe, C.S.?
I would say, in conclusion, rereading this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And that we just need to remember every time we do a read and rewind episode, I forget that I'm supposed, like, obviously I'm going to read it differently now. I'm an adult.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have more information.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah. It was so
but
great.
I liked it. Yeah. And are you going to keep reading them? You're on The Horse and His Boy.
Probably not. I'm probably just going to read The Horse and His Boy and then maybe dip out. But
you know
I don't know.
Some of the other ones are so good. The Voyage of the Dawn I always like that one.
Unknown. Did we just... Okay, so Greta Gerwig is going to be directing a adaptation of the Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah.
Zach last night said it was Silverchair.
I have seen The Magician's Nephew floated out there, but I don't think she has directly said, or there hasn't been like casting, or like, I don't think it's like the characters are known yet. So I just know, I think it is definitive that she's going to be adapting things that haven't been adapted yet, or like, not The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or at least not starting.
So maybe I do just need to see it through.
I'm interested. I mean, I trust Greta Gerwig. I really do. And she seems like she really wanted to do it. So that makes me think she's coming at it
she has a vision.
as someone who's interested in it. So I don't know.
Cool.
We'll see if I keep reading these. Maybe in the after Christmas.
Yeah.
All right. Great talk.
Slay. Have you read anything recently?
Several things. A few from you. So I read the Winter Street series.
Oh. Okay. What did you think?
Wow. You know what? I thought after reading this, dramatic. I'm like, we really need to do an Eldon Hildebrand deep dive. So add that to your docket.
Oh, I have to read more. Okay.
I have so many questions about her, but fascinatingly, I think the most interesting thing about her is her books are so dramatic, but they don't fall into that category of books I hate, where like it's just trauma porn basically, and like things just happen to manipulate the reader. It's like, no, it feels very authentic somehow, even though this is the most dramatic family that I have ever met in my life. Like every bad thing in life that could happen.
Wait, did you read all of them?
I read all 4. Yeah, in like 2 days. I don't know.
Yeah,
more than that.
Like
they're so short.
Know why I read them so quickly too? It's just like
they're addicting. And they always end on a freaking cliffhanger. Like, I gotta know what's gonna happen. But literally, let's just go down the list. In this series, there is like a love triangle, quadrangle. There's broken engagements. There's infidelity. There's drug addiction. There's cancer. Prisoner of war. People die. There's multiple affairs. There's like people reconnecting. Yeah, addiction. Did I forget anything? I don't know.
That's crazy. Broken engagements, patched up engagements, accidental pregnancy, miscarriage.
Yeah. Miscarriage. Yes.
Crazy.
But somehow it doesn't feel like freaking Colleen Hoover, where you're like, you're just doing this to manipulate me. I don't know how she does it, but it was great. I think
her character development is better, so it feels earned.
Yeah. And I feel like she doesn't dwell on like the traumatic thing. It's more like, this happened, now here's how the characters react to it, versus like really milking whatever the trauma is and making you feel like depressed about it and like viscerally experiencing it. So I think that's the difference.
And they seem earned. So like, for instance, there's a character who develops a pill addiction because of a difficult thing that happened with their spouse. Mm-hmm. And so that it actually made sense.
Yes. Yeah. It made
the love
sense.
Triangles make sense.
Although Ava is the most annoying person I've ever encountered in a book. And the biggest reach of this
started.
There was a prisoner of war. Like there's references in this to like crazy things happening. And the biggest reach in this book is that Ava had 3 men who wanted to marry her.
That girl,
she is so annoying.
Worst. And every book she has like someone else tripping over themselves to get married to her.
Yes. And I kept being like, okay, this is a 4-book series over 4 years. I'm sure that she's going to mature and we're finally going to get some redemption for her. But no, I think she's just an annoying person.
I think that's just that she was just born that way.
The most insane thing also is in one of these books, Ellen Hildebrand references one of her own books.
Oh, yeah.
Her book is given out as a party favorite at a wedding shower. I guess she has like a wedding in Nantucket book, and it's like, I laid out a copy of Ellen Hildebrand's Wedding in Nantucket for every guest. I have never experienced that before, but I really enjoyed it. I think it's a great Christmas read, honestly. They're really fun.
I'm not mad about it.
No. I will say they decline in quality. Like, I really enjoyed the first one.
Yeah.
The second 2, I think I pretty equally enjoyed. The last one, I didn't really like as much, but...
Me too.
You know.
I think she was just like, all right, I got to see this.
You got to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Got to kill
The first
somebody.
one was great, though.
Yeah. Okay. Next, I read Time to Shine by Rachel Reed, which you recommended to me. This book was so good. It's a hockey romance. It's about 2 teammates who fall in love. Landon and Casey. Casey is like a star of the team, and then Landon's called up from like the, I don't know, semi-pro league,
like minor league of hockey.
Yeah, he's called up temporarily, and so Casey's like, come live with me because I'm lonely, desperately. And they're just like polar opposites. So cute. Like, I can't even tell you. Okay, look, I love a slow burn. You guys know I love yearning. This was that. But normally when I read a slow burn romance, by the end, I'm like, okay, they got together. I'm bored of these people now. Like, I want them to get together at the very end because otherwise I start to get, like, I don't care anymore. But this, I was like, oh, I don't want this to ever end. I don't ever want to stop reading about Casey and Landon. Like, I just love them so much. They feel like people I know. It just was very, very nice. And it deals with, like, some serious, I don't know, like, serious topics. They both, like, have their own struggles and their own dynamics, and it was still just like really cute, and it's very Christmassy, so I would recommend that. Although you're hearing this past Christmas, I still think you should read it this winter. And I read Kiss Her Once for Me by Alison Cochrane, which you also told me to read, and also I love Alison Cochrane. This one stressed me out a little bit, so it was my least favorite book by her, I think, that I've read. But it follows dynamics. Yeah, it was just like too stressful, but I did like it's still 4.5 stars. But basically these 2 people, Jack and what's the girl's name? I'm looking at the description. Ellie. Jack and Ellie, they meet one Christmas Eve or something, and it's snowing, and they spend this magical day together, and then they kind of like never see each other again, and it broke Ellie's heart, and she's like, I will never love again. And then she ends up in a fake engagement with like her landlord of the coffee shop she works with, and she agrees to go to Christmas with him for this like fake engagement plot. And when she gets there, his sister is Jack, who she was in love with. And also Andrew is like in love with Jack's best friend, Dylan. And so it's like a love quadrangle again. I don't know if that's the right word, but I think that's how they refer to it in this book. Anyways, it's a little stressful
really fun
for me.
Grandma,
very fun family.
It's really cute.
Very cute. It was just like, I'm stressed out. I don't like that you haven't confessed to this person you're in love with, that you're lying to them about this, this whole scheme, and the family dynamics are crazy. But I did like it. It was just like a lot going on. So that's why it was a little less than her other books for me. But I did really like this. It was cute, and it was a good, nice resolution. And it's also a Christmassy book, so that's what I'm on lately. It's Christmas romances. I'll take any more you got for me. Nice. And I finally finished The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes because I'm trying to...
You're trying to beef up your numbers and finish your DNFs.
Yes. So I went back. I had like
so
3 chapters left. I had literally had 3 chapters left. And actually I really liked it. I was like, maybe if I read this book now, I would like it more, because I just think I wasn't maybe in the right mood. But yeah, I finished it. So...
Yay, add it to
it was a good ending, but I still don't like reading about someone who I don't like, I want an interesting main character. Okay, that's what I've read lately. Sorry. Blabbing on.
I love it. I love when you read the books I tell you to read and you like
I know. I got to diversify though, because
Speaking of which, I read a book you told me to read, which is Say You'll Be Mine by Naina Kumar. Mm-hmm. We're reading it for my book club for January.
Oh, great.
And I really liked it.
That's good. I knew you would like it.
I don't even know, because I feel like typically I don't like miscommunication.
Right.
And there is a bit of miscommunication, but it feels reasonable that there's miscommunication. It feels like, of course you would not be communicating clearly in this situation.
Right.
So I'm okay with it. And I just loved the characters. They were so lovable. I wanted, I just wanted more good things. I thought they were both so cute. In my head, they were both adorable.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
So much.
What more could you ask for? More fake dating.
So great. I can't believe it's her debut. And
I know.
She has another book coming out at the beginning of the year.
Oh, yeah.
I have on hold at the library. It's called
Flirting with Disaster.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I'm very excited about that. And I kind of thought when she was breadcrumbing that there was going to be a sequel about her sister.
Yes. I was wondering about that. This is not that.
I don't think so, because in the epilogue of the book, she wrapped things up about her sister.
I know. Even though she did wrap things up in the epilogue, I still would very much like to read her sister's perspective of her romance, because I was very interested in what was going on there, even though it was like chaotic infidelity.
Yeah. I was the least interested in that of the whole book.
Yeah.
That was my least interesting thing, but I really liked it and highly recommend.
Yeah,
and I
can't wait.
I know at least one other person in my book club has read the book and liked it.
Good.
A lot of pressure since I was the one who suggested it.
I know, that is pressure.
We did make a new rule in our book club that if you suggest an indie author, then you need to either have read something by them before that you liked, or you know somebody who has read this book specifically and recommended it.
That's a good point.
And so that is what we've done. And so a lot was writing on you.
Thank you.
I was like, my friend Emily, who co-hosts the podcast with me, really likes this book. And then people were like, oh, Emily likes it? Okay.
That's very stressful to me.
I was like, well,
look, I don't always like the things that other people like. Okay.
Right. I was like, I mean, yeah, maybe. Like, I don't know. I haven't read it. So, but it was good and I liked it and I'd stand by it.
I really did think you would like it when I was reading it. So I'm glad I was right about that.
Yeah.
All right. Great times. I'm going to keep reading Christmas romances until the end of the year, which is when you're listening to this. So hopefully I'll read something besides that to have to recommend. Beginning of the year. Also, I'm so excited for next year. Pretty soon, Onyx Storm comes out.
And we're going to be so blessed with a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot coming out next year. But I'm glad that there's stuff coming out in January, too, because that's just exciting. So we can't wait. 2025. Let's just read.
Yeah, and I think we're going to do, if you don't have Storygraph, then get Storygraph. And because I think we're going to do a buddy read. I do buddy reads for my book club. Mm-hmm. On some, releases next year, like Onyx Storm and maybe the new Emily Henry and stuff, things like that. So.
Yeah, so join us, friend us. Let's see what's your username on Storygraph? Mine is Emily Martin 210 and Abigail. So friend us, and we can see what each other's reading. All right.
See you
Bye.
guys next year.
Happy New Year.